Welcome to the Remix workshops. I will give you first a small summary about what we will be doing today. So how many are using Remix already? Okay, quite a lot. And I guess you are using Remix with Truffle, or you are switching in between Truffle and Remix and Truffle, and so on. Okay, cool. You know? Okay. Okay. Oh, so let's go for the small summary. First, I will talk a bit about what we did since 6 months. So since the last DappCon in November, we are working a lot with François and Yana here about improving the UX and the code base and stuff like that. We'll do like a small overview about the new UX, which has completely changed since the last 3 months. And we are still looking on improving stuff and on improving the UX as well. One important aspect of Remix now is the fact that everyone can build their own plugin. So basically, every developer can come and can develop plugins and can ask us to reference the plugin in Remix. So this is very important stuff of the stack right now in our code base. And so we want also to show you this. So this is the first step here. And François will do like, he already did that like 3 months ago, and basically he will try to develop a plugin in 5 minutes. But I guess it might be like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, we will see. And then I will speak a bit about the next steps. So basically we were developing a lot since the last 6 months. And now we are also trying to meet the community, to meet developers, and to try to favorize development on Remix ID. So this is for the next steps. And then live demo and live coding. So live demo is about demoing like 2 nice plugins that we currently have. The first is the workshop plugins. Chris Ward is not here yet. And the second plugin is Freebox. And basically we use the workshop plugins and the Freebox plugin to leverage like a nice framework around learning Solidity and learning Ethereum more generally. So this is like the 4 steps for the first hour. And then for the next hours, we will speak about, we will do live coding. So basically we can come to you, speak to you, and if you want to share something, if you want to ask questions about everything, if you want to do a workshop, feel free to go on, and we will be here for supporting you. So thanks. I will just start right away. Yeah, so what we did from November to now, basically we spent the 3 or 4 months to figure out what the UX will be and how we can deal with the new UX. And as usual, we planned first to release the first version in March, April, and we end up releasing the first version in June, July. So it's like, as usual, we start thinking about stuff, and we say, oh, we can do that in like 2 months, and it will be easy, and it will be really cool. And then it turned out that the 2 months became 4 or 5 months, but which is also a nice thing, because then we had a lot of arguments, a lot of communication, right? Like sometimes fighting about the UX, or sometimes fighting about the framework, or how it should be, how it should not be, right? It's always like hard stuff, but very nice as well. So yeah, we did that during the first 4 months, and at the same time, we really want to come up with a bunch of developers that are not inside the team, that are outside the team, and that have the willing to write and to develop plugins for Remix. Why? First, because we are like 4 or 5 people, and that we cannot cover the whole community. We cannot cover all the features of Ethereum, and we don't want to cover this. So we are not here to provide all the features, but we want more the community to come with features and to help us building features. Yeah. And I have to say also that we don't stick with Remix ID, and we also plan to let the developer to write plugins for Remix ID, but also for other framework or IDE, like Embark IDE or Truffle, or we will see. Okay, so this is what we did during 6 months, developing, and trying to come up with a nice community of people. We have, at the moment, 5, 6, 7 people that are helping us for developing plugin, which is very nice stuff. And then we are here, so for showing up what we did. Cool. New UX, plugin infrastructure. We were talking about how the framework will look like, and François will talk a bit about that. Something that is not related to Remix ID particularly, but is really important for us is Socrates. And you may already have heard about Socrates. It's a framework that allows putting ZK snark on Ethereum. Basically, it comes with a new language, and this language can be tied with ZK circuits, and then you can basically provide the ZK snark features, but on Ethereum. But the thing is that at the moment, it's only usable outside of JavaScript, and we would like to put this in the browser and in Node.js. So it's like a separate project. We are not coding this ourselves, but we have some help from the Socrates team and from other people for building like Socrates.js, something that you can use for developing ZK snark features on Ethereum. It will not come right now, but we hope to show like a demo maybe for DappCon or shortly after DappCon, we will see. Yeah, so ZK snark is about privacy on Ethereum, but I guess you already know that. Yeah, so extend the connection with devs. I already spoke about that. We want to leverage people and to meet people from the community, like you, basically. Chris Ward is here. I saw him, right? Oh, yeah, sorry. So Chris Ward is a technical writer for the foundation, Ethereum Foundation. He's helping with that. And he's also helping us on writing this Remix workshop plugin. And basically, we also want to provide educational content. And we also want to provide resources for others to learn on Solidity or Socrates or Ethereum or like the blockchain in general. Yeah, that's this. And we also have, well, we need to communicate more about what we do and what we don't do, actually. And actually, I'm not like a social guy, basically. I don't have Twitter. I don't use Twitter so much. I don't use Medium so much, but I have to say it's a good way if you want to share what you do, if you want to share features, if you want to let people know what you are doing. Medium and Twitter are the best way, basically. So we are trying also to leverage these things and to communicate better on what we do. So this was my little stuff about what we did from DevCon to DappCon. And now I just want to show you the new UX a bit. Jana, do you want to come a bit? Thanks. Can you use this?
Yes.
Okay.
If you use the old version, you probably know that we had everything preloaded. So you can go there, you could go there, you had everything to work with Solidity, for example. Now we have everything in plugins. You can activate them. There are 2 ways to activate them. If you know that you will work with Solidity, you could just click on Solidity environment from here. It will load all plugins. So he had already preloaded them. And if you want to work with Viper, you have Viper here. And workshops. François will work about workshops. There is another way to load plugins. It's a plugin manager. This is here. The last one in vertical icon panel. and you have the list of plugins. Those are activated, already activated, those are not. Some of them are still in beta, some in alpha. We have some native plugins. And if you want to add one, then it will arrive here. So I'll add everything for Solidity. What else? In this homepage, you have ways to create and open files from GIST, GitHub, Swarm, IPFS. You have some links. And File Explorer is here. If you want to compile a Solidity contract, for example, you will select it here. Then we will move to Solidity compiler. This is basically almost the same as we had before. We've added a language selection for Yule. We have Yule. It's still experimental in experimental. Yeah, you can do it with control plus minus, or with control and will. But you need, yeah, the editor should be in focus.
If I put control plus,
then yeah, then you can.
Push control plus, it's going to increase or decrease all the.
No, if you are in editor. If you click in editor,
okay.
And then it will increase only the.
Yeah, but there's no place to say that. For example,
yeah.
How could I find it? So
yeah.
Go back
We had this plus minus, but some people thought that it's for adding tabs. It was a bit confusing, and we thought control plus would be because they were saying, oh, it doesn't work. Why we don't have new file here? Yes. Yeah, I was saying that there is a Yule here. You can play with Yule. You can change EVM version. And then once you compiled your contract, you can publish on Swarm. You can see details of output from compiler. And we go to the next plugin. This is deploy and run transactions. This is also basically the same. You check the environment, check the contract, which one you want to deploy, because if you have a couple of them in the same file, you would have a list here. And then basically you deploy. You have your deployed contract here. You can interact. Also, we have different colors for different functions. If for payable ones, we have red. We don't have it here now. We can add one. Sorry, where is A? Okay. Right. Sorry, right. Right. So this means you will pay money if you execute it. And what else? Yeah, this is basically it. If you want to debug the, yeah, you can open it from here. We can also activate the debug plugin from Plugin Manager. And we haven't changed a debugger a lot. Also, we have lots of plans to do to improve it. So this is, you can see what else? Should I talk about some plugins? We have Solidity unit testing plugin. This will generate a test for you, and you can test your Solidity code. We will use it in second part when we will work with workshops. We use tests in workshops. And there are some more. Solidity static analyzer. You can run it. It will give you some static. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay. What? Yeah. We don't have. We don't have.
So it's infinite when you have when you cannot say.
Those tabs.
Like for example.
Those are not connected.
Then you cannot estimate.
They don't get.
Yeah, you should run if you have auto run, but you don't have status.
No, they don't get statuses at all. Neither of them.
No.
Yes, it is true.
Let's move to the France first.
Okay, so this is it. Now Francois will show how to write a plugin.
Okay, thanks Juliana. Hi everybody, my name is Francois. So I'm part of a Remix team. So I helped a lot during this last 6 months to build plugin engine. So we talk a lot about plugins because actually this is a very new stuff for Remix, and it empowers the community to bring new ideas into Remix, and I think it's very important, and we all think here that's very important. We actually changed the design of the previous version to make it much easier and much modular to use Remix and have more tools for that. Just for you to realize how many plugins we actually have right now, it's actually a lot. We have like things like find on Husikyan if the contract is correct. We have Viper compiler, of course. We have stuff like from Mythics, Pipeline, of course. And we actually also have like a new one, like Levreay and Move tools. So it goes even beyond the border of what we were having. And this is from community, so we are very glad that now we have people that really wants to use the power of Remix to make things new that we wouldn't have done actually, and even have thought it could be possible to use with Remix. So we are actually very glad to have that. And today I want to share with you how to do that and how it works. So basically, plugins is an engine that we build, and it's actually agnostic from Remix. It can be used by any IDE. Right now, we have Omkara is working on Ethereum, which is an IDE based inside Atom for Ethereum, and he is implementing this plugin engine. So when you're going to write a plugin, it's not just going to work only on Remix. It's going to work on every IDE that's going to implement this plugin engine. So it's actually big stuff. And the idea is to make it as simple and as modular. And so you can create your own environment as explained here. If you want to work only with Solidity, just go for Solidity. But if you want to work with Viper, there is no reason for you to use Solidity compiler, right? So just hit here, and now you only have what you want, right? So that's the first part. We want to make sure that you have the best workspace for your own experience inside Remix. And yeah, so that's the core engine of the plugin system. And so plugins, what is basically, there is two types of plugins. There is the native plugins, the plugins that we took from Remix, the previous version, and that we create, we isolate it into plugins, like the Solidity compiler, for example, like UDAP for deploying contract like Liana. So this is native plugin. It's run directly inside Remix. But if you guys, you want to build plugins, then of course, we don't expect you to do PRs over PRs, and you don't expect us to read all your PRs to be sure that your plugins are running, right? You want to have like some autonomy on that. So we use iframes to do that. So basically, when you write a plugin, you're going to create an iframe, and this iframe is going to communicate with Remix. And for that, we need to have like permission system, because of course, you don't want any plugin to be able to write on your file system, compile your contract, and deploy it on the mainnet, right? You don't want that, and you don't want plugin to change your contract just before you're sending to the mainnet. So we need to have permission. We need to be very careful about what we do, and we try to be as careful as possible. So maybe you will have, the experience might be sometimes a little bit weird, like maybe you will have like 3 pop-ups that come to you asking your permission, but just think about it. This is very important. Sometimes there's like big stuff that happening here. So, so this is how basically it works. We try to open APIs from the IDE step by step. So maybe like right now you can listen on events from Solidity compiler, you can run compiler, you can change the file system. Yeah, a lot of stuff you can do. But in the future, we want to add more and more APIs from Remix to your plugins. So it can be, so if you need something that is not provided yet, just please jump into the channel inside Gitter, and we'll try to make our best to open this API for you, for your plugin. So it's very important. We want to listen to you guys. We want to be able to have feedbacks and do what you need. So now that you understand what plugin is and why we want to do plugin, what I want to show you is how easy it is actually to build a plugin. So as Jan said, I will try to do a plugin to show you how to make a plugin in 5 minutes. And this is how much time you need to bootstrap a plugin. So I'm going to show you that. And for that, I have my counter here, right? And I'm going to remove everything from local storage. So like that, you know that I'm not joking, right? I'm doing it from scratch. So I remove everything here, OK? I will reload. OK, there is nothing. I'll just remove it. I know it's written in French, but I guess you know it. So there is nothing here, like a lot of pop-up, though. OK, so as I said, it's just an iframe, so I just need an HTML file, right? So this is my workspace here. So I guess most of you know of VS Code, so it's like basic idea. There is nothing here, like nothing. So I hope you trust me when I say it's only 5 minutes to build a plugin from scratch. Ready? OK, so let's start. OK, so as I explained, when you want to build a plugin, you want to run it inside an iframe. So you need a server, and you need an HTML file. So let's start with the HTML file. Let's create index.html, right? So this is where I'm going to use my little cheat. It's like a snippet. OK, everybody know it. I don't want to write it. Come on. OK, so now what do I need? I actually need to use the library that we built to connect to Remix. So you need here, no tabs open, just writing it. You see event documentation is between 5 minutes. So I go on Remix, GitHub, Ethereum, Remix plugin. This is the library we are going to use. So just explaining how good it is and why do you want to use it. And here you have the getting started. So either you can use npm, right, good. But in my case, I only have like an index.html. So I will go for the unpackaged part. So I pass it. Then what I want to do is run the scripts. So first thing first, I need a client. So this client is going to listen on every event from Remix from the post message event. So again, I'm going to pass this. So this is like a global variable that is given by the library. And then here, I'm just creating an iframe client. It's just going to listen on the event from the iframe. Then I'm going to create a function. It says say hello. And this function is just going to write a file on Remix. That's all. Good enough for now. So first, I need to await on the client to load, just to be sure that it's loaded. And because I'm using await, I need async, of course. And then I will use the call methods. Call method is a way to ask any plugins anywhere that is running right now on Remix IDE, and I want it expose some methods, so I'm using call for that. So in my case, I want to write something on the file system. So I just go down until, okay, which one of those plugins, of those API do I need to use? Come on, guys, the time is running. Which one? File system, thank you. Okay, file manager, I go there. Here is all the documentation. And I want to use the set file. So I write file manager and then set file. And if I go a little bit down, here set file, I need two parameters, which are the name of the path for the file and the content of it. So it's going to be browser/sayhello.txt and just hello world. Okay, great. So this is going to write something. This is a promise because I'm using post message. I'll just wait for that, and I'm going to switch the file so you can see that it has been created. So for that, I'm using also file manager, switch file, and just the same browser/sayhello.txt. Okay, great. Then I need a button to run this function. Okay, button. I will use a Bootstrap class, which is out of the box in Remix. Just like that, you don't have to worry about the style. Just say hello, and I'm going to run say hello. Great, so now I need to run a server. I'm just going to use npx live server. While it's running, I'm going there. I hit plugin manager, connect to local plugin. So this is going to look inside the local host. I give it a name, so it's going to be say hello. I'm giving a display name, say hello. The name has to be in camel case, guys. HTTP localhost 8080, and I want it to run inside the side panel. Still running. Okay, it's good. I can say, okay, it runs. There is this nice icon here. Say hello with the style Bootstrap. Hit this. It asks me for permission. I remember this. I accept, and it's coming, it's coming. Hello world. And it has been 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Yeah, okay. Yes.
We can brief, you can go back again.
Sure, I can explain everything now. Just for you to understand, okay, I hope you saw that it's actually quite easy to do. I just need index.html. I just need a server that is running, and I can create a plugin inside and test it inside Remix, super easy. So I'm going back again, just step by step. The idea here is that I want to have a server, a local server, web server that is running a page, right? And the only way to run a page is HTML, so on web. So I have an iframe on Remix. This iframe is running here on the left, you see? So if I just go quickly here, you'll see that I have an iframe. And this iframe is running my code. And it's looking for the localhost 8080. So here what I do is I create a very small, very easy file with, and I just run it inside a web server. And this web server runs in localhost, right? And then what I'm doing is when the page arrives, when the iframe run, then it's going to run the page, HTML, very classic stuff. And then, yeah, I have my button and my script. So my script is just loading the library to communicate with Remix IDE. And then the script here is just basically functions that call plugins, functions from plugins, all the plugins. And that's basically it. So here in this case, I'm using native plugin, which is File Manager. File Manager is a native plugin from Remix. But I could also call external plugin. Let's say you create a very nice external plugin, and you expose some methods. It means that anybody can call those methods, so you can improve the global API of Remix by building plugins like that. So that's basically it. Yes?
Could you go back to remix the part of where to install my personal plugins?
Yeah, so if you go to File Manager here, you can connect to a local plugin. So here are all the plugins that you have, deactivate and activated one. And if you hit here, you can just say, okay, I want to create a new plugin, and this new plugin is going to listen on this localhost 8080. Just need to give a name. It has to be camel case, as I say, and a display name. So like that here is like, display name is on the left, basically. And name is like internal stuff that is used by the engine to be sure that this is a unique plugin, because you don't want also people to fake another plugin, right? So that's basically it. So do you have any other question about that? So just for you to know, there is a workshop, a hackathon tomorrow, starting this evening, and the idea is for you to build plugins, right? So if you really have good ideas about how you can improve Remix, please join us, and it's going to be a very good time, I hope. So yeah, Jan?
Actually, this is some stuff that I already mentioned before. And so you see like the identifier. There is a bunch of stuff that we want to do that are, and the plugin infrastructure is part of this, but there are also some other stuff. Important thing is providing content for learning Solidity in Ethereum, and basically we are trying to connect with e-learners and with technical writers for helping us writing these, and for helping people, devs, to learn Solidity more. We also want to provide better support to the community, and we also want to connect to people from the community, like Etherscan or Oraclize or OpenZeppelin or Pipeline. So you have the list, part of the list, which is over there here. And there are two stuff that we plan to do, but we are still waiting, and we are like just brainstorming a bit more on what we should do. It's about marketplace and plugin. So basically, as you can see, there are a lot of plugins now available. And when some devs want to put their plugins in Remix, they ask us to put the metadata JSON file in the Remix ID repo. And basically, we don't want, in the long term, to having to manage this, and we don't want to be able to have to say to devs, oh, I don't want your plugins, or I want your plugins, or well. We just want, ultimately, the community to manage herself and to be able to approve some plugins or discount some plugins. So that way, I guess we will also use the blockchain, right? So we might have a contract on chain for listing all the available plugins. We might have a way to add reputation on plugins and stuff like that. This might come in a few months, but we are still waiting now to leverage the community around plugins and to have more people writing plugins. So if you have some ideas and if you want to share with us this, feel free to talk to us, and we can also participate on funding some plugins development. So yeah, we are also waiting for you. So this is for the plugin part, and there is some stuff that we are also doing, and it's outside of the dev areas, and it's more reaching to the community and outside of the community. So basically, we also want to meet people that are not IT people, or that are IT people but are not necessarily blockchain related. And basically, we want to meet these people and to speak with them and to try to explain to them what is a blockchain and how Bitcoin is different than Ethereum, and how maybe Bitcoin is the same as Ethereum, and how Bitcoin can be useful and how Ethereum can be useful too. So we just want to meet other people that are not part of the inner community. And we have some talk already. We have some plan. We plan to go in Paris in November at the business school. And yeah, I think this part will come more in the 2020 year. But yeah, we are basically wanting to meet other people from the community and also for helping the community to grow, right? Because this is what we want. So here for the next steps, then if I go back to the summary, we have two left items. So the first, which is a very nice step, is a live demo from François. It's basically a way to mix, to use the Remix workshop and the Freebox workshop together. It's very nice stuff. And the last item is about just you talking each other or us talking with you about anything. About workshop, plugins, I mean, we will see. Right? So thanks.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Great. So I'll take the lead for the live demo. So as explained just before, we have, you can create plugins that consume the API from Remix, right? But you can also create plugins to extend the API. And this is what happened, actually. Is it working? Sorry. Perfect. So this is what happened very recently with a plugin which is Freebox Space. So who here has heard about Freebox? Well, okay, so this is actually a very nice project that has been incubated in Consensus. And this is a project that's run on top of IPFS and OrbitDB, and they are connecting your Ethereum address to create spaces inside IPFS. So you can just basically mean that you have your own database that is everywhere with you, just with your private key. And it's actually very nice. And we really want to leverage this power with Remix, because right now Remix, I think most of you have experienced that everything is local storage, right? I mean, if you clean your browser, if you just change your browser, you change your computer, then you lose everything. Okay, so we have tools for that. We have Remix daemon. We are working on a Remix desktop to make it better. But also, we want to have a decentralized solution to be able to store all your files, all your contents directly on IPFS. And this is what Freebox is actually doing. So Freebox is a very, as you see, it's still beta. It's a plugin that helps you to connect to MetaMask. Yeah, I don't have, I'll go to. This kind of plugin still need to have Chrome. So Freebox is a plugin that connects to MetaMask to get your address, and it's going to create a space in IPFS just for you. And everything you write here is encrypted with your private key. So it's using all the infrastructure from Ethereum for everything that's cryptographic, and then put everything on IPFS. It's very nice, and it works super well. And okay, great. So as you can see, we still have some work to do with the loading stuff and the styling, but it's coming, right? And this, for now, is just a plugin that helps you to connect with MetaMask. But it's actually very nice because this plugin is exposing a lot of stuff in this API. So if you want to see it, you need, right now, there is not very good documentation. You need to go inside here. And if I go here, I'm going to show you that quickly. Yeah. So here, maybe I can make it bigger. Here are all the methods that you can that are exposed by Freebox. So you can like log into Freebox with your account. You can get the user account. You can open a space. You can close the space. You can write data directly into it. So we don't have a very nice UI right now, but the idea of this plugin is to write directly from Remix to Freebox. And this plugin is it's an external plugin. It's built by someone else, so it's running on iframe, as I explained. But it's really here to be used to extend the power of the Remix ID API. So I will recommend to use it as much as possible. It's a really nice plugin, and we are actually already using it inside Remix Workshop. And Remix Workshop is part of our goal to build more plugins for the community. Remix Workshops, so if you hit here, and I will recommend you to do it with me on the same time, so you go to Remix Alpha, you have to be on remix-alpha.ethereum.org, and just hit this workshop button. And workshop is, I don't know, who knows Code Academy here? Code Academy, never heard about that? Okay, perfect. So this is basically Code Academy for Solidity directly here. So everybody can write workshops, can write tutorials about Solidity, just upload them on Freebox, and then everybody can read it and make these tutorials. So we really want to be like the place to be if you want to learn everything about Solidity, but can be actually, it can be also for Viper or for Move, right? Because we are plugging for that now. So that's the idea. And we want to make it easy for everybody to do that. So if you hit here, now you can go to this Remix Workshop stuff. And here it's like all the workshops that are available. But by default, there is no workshop available because I need to ask a smart contract about who are the tutor, basically. So for that, I need to sign in here. And just for you to know, it's going to have like a lot of pop-up from MetaMask. So I'm going to write my password. I'm going to accept Freebox to use it. I'm going to accept my plugin to use it. I'm going to accept, I don't know, everybody here to use it. Then I'm going to open a lot of things, just for you to know. But bear with me, it's worth it. Of course. Perfect. OK, first one, second one. Then here, I'm just connecting to Freebox. So it takes a long time. Then now, I want my plugin to connect to MetaMask. OK, great. Oh, yeah, because I did it already some times ago. But if you do it, you might have like 6 pop-up to use, just for you to know. And here now, I have access to all the workshops here. So let's go for Discover Solidity, for example. So this is the workshop, and then you just start it. OK, it asks, you know that now. Just ask for permission. And here you have like, it wants to write on the file system, and yeah, it basically tells me what to do with that. So here you want me to return a hello world method. So if you write the documentation here, it's telling you what it wants to do. So I want to return hello world like that. So I will make just a mistake for you to realize. So if I run tests, then it's running a remix test. So Jan show you that, or maybe Jan, I don't remember, but there is like remix tests that is running behind the scene, and it's like testing your method. And if it doesn't work, then it tells you exactly what you expect you to do. So that's the remix, how it works. And then, OK, I'm just testing it. Now it should work. It should have worked. What do you expect? Hello world. Perfect, it bugs. Awesome. Why wouldn't be a demo without bugs? OK, great, it works now. So you can hit next, and then you have your second workshop. So this is something we want to build because we spend actually a lot of time during convention and events like that doing workshop because we think we are the good place to start learning Solidity or improve your skills with Solidity. And we just realized that, hey, why only us should do that, right? So everybody here, Chris, he did a lot of work on that to make it, to build workshops, to make it even more easier today to learn Solidity. And this is what we want you to do. Just please try this. We have like a lot of time right now. There is advanced stuff, there is newbie stuff, so there is for everybody. And just go there, pick a workshop, do this, and try to work to see how good you are with Solidity and try to learn something. We're here to help you to follow those steps. And yeah, and if you want to build a plugin instead, just feel free. We'll be very glad to help you in this process. So yeah, that is for me. And now we have some time to do the workshop, basically. So yeah, as I explained, there is like, you can go here, a bunch of workshops to do. The recorder is something really amazing. If you never tried this recorder before, I would recommend to do that. So yeah, that's all for me. Thanks. Yeah, okay.
While you're switching, we have a quick question.
Yeah.
What stops you from using HTTPS? That's the one thing. Every time I do Remix and I connect it to my local host and I want to do stuff on mainnet, and I always see this not secure thing in my browser that always makes me.
It's because we cannot, there is communication cannot work between HTTPS and HTTP, basically. So if you're using localhost, then it breaks. It's something that is based on the browser. So the browser only accepts if you're dealing with between HTTP and HTTP. But if your remix is on HTTPS, it's just going to say, oh, there is an HTTP network that is coming here, and you say, no, I don't want it. So that's browser related. We cannot just do anything about that. So you can either run your localhost on HTTPS, right, or just switch to remix with HTTP. So that's the idea. And it's actually the same with plugins. If you want to try plugins on HTTP with your localhost, then you need to be on HTTP also. Just browser-related issue. Yeah, great. So please, yeah, feel free to try those plugins. We spent like the last 2 weeks writing them. It's like a very new plugin for us. So we would love to have all your feedbacks about the UX, some maybe bugs. I hope there won't be a lot of them, but anyway. And yeah, please use this time to talk with us. We are here for 1 hour, so please enjoy. Thanks.